So welcome. We're going to start another 4-part module on long angles and short angles. So long angles and short angles are part of an efficiency pattern that the body creates, and we have to break it up and we have to work the opposite end of each pattern. So to give you an idea what a long angle is that once we're upright, one of the easiest things to do is for us to lock out our legs, and that turns off or decreases muscular activity. We go into capsular and ligamentous activity as we lock out our legs during the day. And then we take muscles that are normally movers, like the glute max, and we turn them into stabilizers. And once you turn the glute max into a stabilizer, the abdominal muscles have to become a mover, so they turn off. Because movers only move when you're moving, and stabilizers only stabilize when they're stabilizing. So when you clench your butt, you accidentally turn off your abs. So likewise, small angles are angles that are where the angle is decreased at a joint, like the knee in this case. We're lowering down deeper into the angle. It requires more muscular activity, and with more muscular activity, we can do something really interesting, which is what time under tension is all about, is we can decrease the overall tension of the body. Instead of going, okay, we're using our legs more, we need to stabilize our abs more. So we start getting the behavior of doing time under tension in the small and short angles, trying to find the efficiency patterns. So we're gonna go back after the body, looking at long and short angles of the body. So how it basically works is when you stretch, and that's what we're focusing on today, is groups that tend to flex the body, like your hamstrings and your calves. They need to be lengthened, and things that extend the body, like your quads, they need to be lengthened. Let's see if I said that right. I'm gonna say that again. Things like your hamstrings, which flex the body, need to be extended, and things that extend your body need to be flexed. That's what I meant to say. So we're gonna work on that today. And that's exactly where we're going to start, but we have to start out with our feet parallel. Hips width apart, and here's your ASIS. This is your pubic symphysis midway. In between is your hips width, and we're going to make sure those feet are right under those hips and parallel. Then you're going to push down big toe and the corresponding metatarsal head, outer 4 toes and corresponding metatarsal head, especially that pinky toe. That is so important to create that opening and the balance of weight forward, and then finally dropping your heel down. We're going to do 1/3 the weight through the balls of your feet, 1/3 the weight through your toes, and finally 1/3 the weight through your heels as you start activating time under tension. So we want you to externally rotate your legs, your calves go on, your quads go on. Your first chakra, your pelvic floor goes on. Second chakra, your lower abs go on. Third chakra, your upper abs go on as you draw your shoulder blades down and back. Now get your head over the top of your pelvic floor. So like I said, we're going to work the flexors, and we're going to put them into extension, and the extenders we're going to put into flexion. As we do our first activity, we're going to do this with a very straight spine, and we're first going to do it with the roller because we're not quite warmed up and we're in our tendency to cheat. We're going to do a forward fold using the roller. Your goal is to keep your spine as straight as you possibly can. So feel what it feels like to stretch and lengthen your hamstrings and your calves. And
keep your abs sucked in, belly button to spine.
Oh.
Keep the arches of your feet lifted.
See, it's not so easy.
Pulling energy from the inner thighs all the way up through your pelvic floor, lower abs. Bringing that belly button closer to the pubic bone.
And this stretch is all about your abs because it's easy to show off your abs because you feel stretch in your hamstrings and your calves. We don't want to just do what our body wants to do. We want to just obey good behaviors of time under tension.
And as you breathe, try to relax the back side of your body. Like Michael just said, your hamstrings, your calves, and your glute.
And then we're going to come up. So you can walk yourself up if you want to. and then you're gonna arch in the opposite direction. You can hold on to that roller if you'd like. Just give you reference. Keep your abs on to protect your back. You shouldn't feel this in your back at all because your abs are on, your lats are on, your quads are on. Okay, come back up to center. And then we start the forward fold with our feet hips width apart, abs nice and tight, feet parallel. So important. Don't turn out, don't have one foot turned out. Keep them exactly parallel because we're gonna do a forward fold. And you're just gonna feel what it feels like to sink in as you tighten your abs. If you want, you can do what Maria's doing. You can use a block because we're gonna hang out here for a while.
Same thing, make sure you're grounding the tripod of your feet into the mat, lifting the arches of your feet, connecting that with your inner thighs, lifting through the pelvic floor, lower abs, sucking that belly button towards your spine, pull the shoulder blades down and back, soften up the rib cage, relax your neck and shoulders, inhale. As you exhale, try to relax the backside of your body.
Keep your abs engaged. Okay, good. Bend your knees. We're coming up halfway first. Hands go on your knees. You're going to stick out your booty, arch your back. We're going to shorten up your back muscles. Tighten your abs, because this is part of the equation too, flexion and extension of the spine. And then we're going to come up nice and tall once again. We're going to arch backwards and open up the hip flexors. Abs are engaged. You could drop your arms back behind you, but keep those abs engaged. No pressure into your low back. Suck in that tummy. And then come back up again. We start over, we're going to deepen the stretch into the flexors of the leg. So that's your calf and your hamstring. Your heel goes down, blocks under the ball of your foot. Same thing, keep your abs engaged. We're going to go forward. Oh.
Tight.
Keep those knees turned out, keep those feet parallel, lift tall through your abs. Draw your shoulder blades down and back, and then use your abs to pull you deeper into that forward fold. Suck in that tummy. This is your opportunity to activate your abs into a sit-up. And then you're coming back up again. Abs are nice and tight. Shoulder blades are down and back. This time you're going to take your arms over the top of your head as you arch backwards. Yay for my shirt. Suck in your tummies. Really arch backwards. Feel the stretch in this calf muscle. This is an exercise that was completely adapted by Winnie the Pooh when he did his stoutness exercises. And good, lower your arms down as we switch feet. Block goes under the ball of your right foot, abs are nice and tight, you're sucking your tummy. There's something to be said about long stretches. These are long stretches and it really creates a lengthening. You don't need a lot of force to create a long stretch. So that's why a lot of people overstretch and they stay in stretch for too long and they end up stretching the wrong parts of your body. We want you to stretch the right parts of your body as you keep your spine straight, hinge from your hips. We're going to do a forward fold. Keep the arches lifted, quads on, abs nice and tight. You're sucking your tummy. Draw your shoulder blades down and back and pull yourself closer to our block using your abs. Don't let any pressure go into your low back. We're not stretching joints, we're stretching muscles. So you should feel this in the muscles like your calf and your hamstring, but not in the joints of your low back. You shouldn't feel it in your knees either, so quads are on. Keep breathing. And then let's come back up again, nice and tall. Arms go over the top of your head. Arch backwards, suck in that tummy. Jaws relaxed. Just feel what it feels like, lengthen and stretch without putting pressure into your low back by tightening up your abs. Keep your lats on. Quads are on. Okay, go ahead and shake that out. So we're talking about opposition of forces. We're gonna do the quads in a second, but we're gonna do one other piece. We have to be able to do internal and external rotation. And I promise you, most of the day, people are standing with their feet turned out. They don't stand with their feet overly turned in. That's a rare phenomenon and a whole different other story. So we're gonna go after that piece first because it's easier to get standing than it is when the next position that we're going into. You're gonna put the block under the ball of your left foot. You're gonna take your toes and you're gonna internally rotate. So that's creating the internal rotation of your hips. So what we want to really focus on is externally rotating the knees, but keeping our feet turned in at 90 degrees. Our chest is up, shoulder blades are down and back, abs are nice and tight. So this is internal rotation, and we're going to pump the hips forward. This is what you should do if you want to get someone's attention who's talking to you. Just pump your hips at them and see what happens while they're telling their long-winded story. Abs are nice and tight. Suck in your tummy. This is going to get your peroneus longus or fibularis longus on the outside of your leg. Abs are nice and tight. Just going to get your tensor fasciae latae on the side of your legs. And then now we're going to go into a forward fold. Same thing, keep your knees turned out even though you're toeing in. Abs are on, shoulder blades are down and back. You're pulling yourself forward. Keep breathing. Oh. Oh. Okay, and then we're going to come back up nice and tall. We're going to arch in the opposite direction. Hip side to side. Okay, go ahead and lower those arms. We're going to switch to the opposite side. Right ball of your foot goes on the block. You're going to toe in with your left toes. You're going to externally rotate your legs. You're going to push your hips forward first as we move our hips side to side. This will get your fibularis longus on the outside of your leg as well as your tensor fasciae latae. Abs are nice and tight. Tensor fasciae latae does hip flexion and external rotation. That's why we're causing internal rotation to get that muscle to stretch open. Abs are nice and tight. Ooh. And you can see how some of the mechanics of your lower leg can affect the motion of your hips. Okay, let's go into our forward fold. Anything to share, Mario? Shoulder blades down and back. What should they be looking for? Oh, externally rotate those knees.
Now, as you do your stretch, try to coordinate your breath. On your exhale, try to relax all those tight parts on the back side of your body.
Notice if one side of your body is tighter than the other as you just stretch into this. Keep your abs engaged, so very important. And remember, this is internal rotation. And then come up nice and tall, arms go over the top of your head. You're gonna walk, oh, I don't know, what is this, wagging side to side? You're gonna move side to side, like you're a giant piece of seagrass in the ocean. Okay, good. Go ahead and put your arms down. We're going to go back to feet parallel to see how much easier it is to get your feet parallel. Should be a whole lot easier having done internal rotation. Okay? Feel different? You should feel a lot more upright. Your abs are engaged. You should feel like your midsection carving out. As we go into now knee flexion on top of the block. Abs are nice and tight. Suck in your tummy. We're just go hips side to side first. This just gets all the different hip flexors to open up. Now you're starting to understand the opposition of motion. We did flexion first that lengthened the hamstring and the calves, and those muscles, when they contract, flex your knee. Now we're extending the leg. Now we're extending the hip. So we got to open up a certain amount of groups, and we do that through flexion of the knee. Okay, we're gonna push forward side to side. Abs are engaged, no pressure in your low back. Okay, we're gonna take your right hand, grab your left foot. We're gonna do this for a while. We're gonna stretch because we're gonna do a long stretch of the calf, or no, not calf, quads. Abs are nice and tight. This opens up the rectus femoris. Suck in your tummy.
Suck in your tummy.
Suck in your tummy, you people. Did you see where her eyes were? They were on you. First, second, and third chakras are fired up. I really want you to try to get your heel to your butt as you push forward a little bit more. See how much extension Maria's getting in her hip. That's what we're going for. Nothing in the human body has a single function. So as you open up that hip flexion, you're giving more circulation to the lower half of your body, opening up the iliac arteries, but you're also getting more circulation to your reproductive organs. So we're going to stretch this for a bit. Okay, we're going to release that leg. You're going to come back a little bit, and now you're going to take your front leg and you're going to cross it ahead. This is now external rotation. Try to get this leg to match the front plane of your body, like this way. And then you're going to push your hips forward. This will again open up that tensor fascia lata because it's getting it out of flexion into extension. Abs are nice and tight.
Suck, suck, suck.
She's talking to you guys, because mine's in. Shoulder blades are down and back. You should feel an opening in your hip. Now you're gonna wiggle your hips from side to side. This may get your glute medius. We're going to do this for a while because we want to open up the energy of the hip. Get that tension to come back to your abs instead of your hip flexors carrying it.
20.
Okay. Oh, you're going to come back out of this. Leg's going to go back behind you.
Graceful.
You're just going to curl your toes under as we go into our thinker pose. If you feel excessive pressure in those metatarsal heads, just push your heel back. You should feel this in your plantar fascia and your Achilles tendon into your calf. Abs are nice and tight. You're going to take this left elbow and just put it across midline. Suck in that tummy. We're staying low. Your right heel is down. Keep breathing. Keep sucking in that tummy. Long spine. This is also getting twist of the spine. Keep breathing. And then we're going to open back up again to open everything up, stretch forward. Abs are engaged. Don't let any compression go into your low back because your abs are so very tight. Push those hips forward more than you think. See how deep Maria is? Get that deep. Oh. Okay. Let's switch sides.
Are we gonna?
Not yet.
Okay.
I have plans for that.
Okay. Just checking.
I'm glad you're checking though. Okay, curl your toes under. Abs are nice and tight. You're wiggling your hips side to side, sucking that tummy. Keep breathing. Okay, is that enough?
19, 20.
Okay, push those hips forward, side to side. We're lengthening what gets shortened all day long. So your quads, when they contract, straighten your legs. So to stretch them, you have to bend the knee. Okay, go ahead, reach back, grab a hold of that foot, pull it to your butt as much as you can, push your hips forward. We're going to do a long stretch on this. And once again, see what Maria's doing and really push your hips forward, suck in your tummies. No pressure into your low back or your knee. If you're feeling it there, something needs to tighten up. It's either your quads or your abs. Keep breathing. Long stretch. As you now come out of this, just release your leg. You're going to take this right leg and cross it in front. Push it as far forward with your other thigh as you can. Abs are nice and tight. You're pushing your hips forward, abs are engaged. Try to square your hips out. It's okay if your hip pops. Suck in your tummy. And then we're just going to rock those hips side to side. Your goal is to open up your tensor fascia lata, glute med and min. There's a saying, tensor fascia lata, glute med and min, abduct, meaning it moves away your femur, then rotates it in. We're now rotating it out. Suck in that tummy. It wants to hang out. Don't let it. gracefully come back to this position. We're gonna stretch forward. Oh, we're gonna stretch forward as far as Maria can go. Abs are nice and tight. So Mario pointed out a second ago that I forgot to do stretch the hamstrings from this position that we usually do on the block. We're going to do something interesting. We're going to add abduction with stretching the hamstrings. Then we'll do adduction.
Abs in.
Sucking that tummy. So we're playing with long angles and short angles. So you're finding out your body has to work doing this. So we're going to come up in this stance now. Hold on to your roller. Just take your legs apart. You might be a little lightheaded. That's okay. Feet are parallel. You're going to turn your knees out. That's the big piece here. So we're abducting our legs. Go as deep as you comfortably feel like you can go. But keep those knees turned out. Okay, and then you're going to do a forward fold. You can use your block if you want. It's okay if your hips pop. Try to get your feet as far apart as you can, and then wiggle your hips side to side as you open up your adductors as well as your hamstrings and calves.
Snap, crackle, pop.
Yep, because this is motions we rarely do unless you ride horses. Keep your abs engaged, keep your arches of your feet lifted, and breathe. So this is what we're doing in flexion. We're going to come down onto our knees now. Keep your knees apart. We're going to do it into hip extension. So you're going to push forward into this frog pose position, opening the front of your hips, and your hips may pop again, and that's okay. You can put the soles of your feet together just because it's fun. Chest up, and you can wiggle from side to side. It's okay if your legs and hips twist. It's actually good. Suck in that tummy. Don't let it go into your low back or your shoulders or your neck.
Twin.
Okay, we're going to push back with our knees apart. Whoa. Wiggle your hips from side to side. Like I said, unless you ride a horse, you're probably not opening these muscles up. Oh, ran out of mat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, donkey, bring your legs back together. Come into kneeling. Just feel how violated you feel. Get those hips to flex again. So when you feel pressure in the hip flexors, we tend to overly extend. I actually want you to go into hip flexion. Arch your back a little bit, but tighten your abs. Push into your hips to deepen hip flexion. And now we got to open up. So we opened up the legs. Now we got to work with the adductors, or adduction, opening up the abductors. It's always confusing. But you'll see. We're going to use a block again. You're going to put your knee on top of the block. And then you're going to take your right leg way across midline. Push your hips forward first. You'll want to stick your butt out. Don't stick it out. Push your hips forward first. Don't worry, we'll get that. Hips go to the side. You'll feel the stretch of your glute medius and also the iliotibial band. Abs are nice and tight. You can lean away. You can see how Maria's leans away. I just don't have a whole lot of flexibility. Smiles are up. Chest up. Hips forward. These are long stretches, so it's really developing the opening and letting all the soft tissue release. Keep your abs engaged. I know you're going to want to turn off your abs. And then now you're going to break at the hips slightly so your butt sticks out as you move your hips over to the left. Much hip pain, much flank pain is caused by this. Tighten your abs. And good. We're going to switch sides. Okay, cross that. Ooh, left leg across midline. Hips go to the side as you push your hips forward. Push forward first with the hips, and the hips go off to the right. Abs are nice and tight. You can feel this stretch all the way into your neck, which is Maria's catching. So what you think are neck problems and shoulder problems are oftentimes hip tightness. Keep those hips forward as you stretch. Your hips over to the right. Notice if one side was different than the other. Abs are engaged. Yet? Now?
20.
Okay. Now stick your butt out, push your hips to the side. So now you're sticking your butt out, you're arching your back a little bit, you're still tightening your abs. You can see Maria's spine curve. Abs. Feel that stretch. Don't run away from it. Okali dokali. Is that tight? Okay, come out of this, come back into kneeling. You'll need a break after that. Because your body, when it feels that kind of tension in your hip, assumes it worked really hard. It really didn't, but it will assume that. Okay. We're gonna come into kneeling now on the block. A lot of times when people do that, they get emotional releases. Okay, you're gonna try to externally rotate your legs. Your feet, your toes are gonna come out. We're doing that internal rotation as you pump your hips forward. Abs are nice and tight. This is where they'll really wanna shut off, and you wanna go into your psoas muscle. We don't want you to use your psoas muscle. We want you to tighten your abs. Okay, good. Go ahead, let those feet now cross behind you. You're gonna push your hips forward. So, how can I show this? My legs are crossed behind me. Abs are nice and tight. You're pumping your hips forward once again. Suck in that tummy. Don't let your tummy hang out. And then we are going to switch your legs. So you're crossing your other leg on top behind you as you push your hips forward. So this is opening up a lot of pressure in the hips because we carry so much tension there, and that's why I was talking about the emotional release. We tend to put things where we're strong, not where we're weak. You never put a lot of weight on your pinky, it's too weak. You put it in places that are strong, like your bicep, your hips, your low back. Oh my goodness, that's such an emotional center. Okay, good. Come back into kneeling, your toes are curled under once again. Abs are nice and tight. If you feel pressure in your metatarsal heads, push those heels back once again. You should feel a nice stretch in your Achilles tendon right into that calf muscle. Abs are nice and tight, chest is up. We're doing a long stretch of this too. Shoulder blades are down and back, heads over top of your pelvic floor. Now you're going to lean back slightly. Keep those abs engaged. Notice if one side's tighter than the other. We don't like it when one side's tighter than the other. Especially on a muscle as powerful as your calf muscle. This is going specifically after your soleus. Abs really lift. Okay, now you're going to point your toes back behind you. And you're going to sit back on your heels. If you have tight toes, it's not going to be fun. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking in your tummy. Oh yes, long stretch. Open up what's called your tibialis anterior and your extensor digitorum. This is what happens when you wear shoes and you sit back on your heels. Your toes will start lifting, and we can have a high probability that you're going to injure your toes. This stretches it out, lengthens those tissues out. Keep your abs on, lean back slightly. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come off your toes. Come into regular kneeling as we start working the shoulders. So on the shoulders, it's going to feel like we're using more muscles, like it's almost a muscle activation, and it is. We can stretch the shoulders, but sometimes we need to strengthen them in order to stretch them because we're going to use oppositional muscle groups. Okay, we're going to sit on top of the ball that's on top of the block. The block is going to be midway between your pubic bone and your tailbone. Chest is up, shoulder blades are down and back, abs are nice and tight, you're sucking in your tummy. We're going to start out by looking at alignment. Head goes over the top of the ball. Shoulder blades are down back. First chakra is on because you're midway between your pubic bone and your tailbone. Your abs are engaged, your shoulder blades are down and back. Suck in that tummy. We're going to squeeze a ball with your pelvic floor. Squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. Abs are nice and tight, smiles are up. Squeeze and release. Jaws relaxed. Squeeze and release. Okay, we're gonna now work the shoulder joints. Okay?
Just in time.
Just in time. We're gonna start with our arms in flexion. Flexion and extension, we know what to do on the arms. So we're not gonna start there, we are gonna do that. But we're going to start with our arms in flexion, and we're going to work external rotation. So you have to really draw your shoulder blades down and back, and you're going to pump outward. And like I said, this is going to feel more like strengthening than stretch, but it is stretch in the long run. Keep your abs engaged. So every time you're hitting peak external rotation, your abs should be externally rotating. This is the ultimate what? What? It's not me. What are you talking about? This is the what you're looking for. Try to keep the work out of your neck. No energy is going into your neck. Abs are engaged. Why are you touching me? Okay, keep your arms externally rotated. Chest goes up. Abs are nice and tight. Take it further. No pumping this time. You're just holding. Chest is up. Abs are nice and tight. Suck in that tummy. Keep externally rotating even more. More. Abs, tighten your abs even more. Relax your neck. And this is where you move your neck around. Keep your abs engaged, keep your arms externally rotated. And we're opening up that neck to be independent of the shoulders. Keep your abs engaged. You could turn your head left and right as well. By now your hands should be going a little bit numb. And release your hands. Should be pretty intense in the shoulders if you did that correctly. If you didn't, it means you just need to put more effort into it. Now we're going to internally rotate. Sorry, you're going to internally rotate. There was a great episode of I Love Lucy where she wants to get a suntan before she does a modeling of a dress, and she ends up sunburning her armpits. It'll feel like that. You're going to internally rotate your arms, chest up. And what you're trying to do is treat this like a pivot point. You're trying to internally rotate your arms as much as you possibly can, but keep your chest up. Suck in your tummy, and once again, move your head and neck around. Abs are nice and tight, pelvic floor is on. Don't forget about those parts of your body as you're doing this. Now you're going to take your arms much further back behind you. It's making almost a diamond behind you like this with your hands, as it's almost like you're pushing somebody away. Chest goes up nice and tall, abs are nice and tight. So it's this internal rotation, why can you say internal rotation? Abs are nice and tight, chest is up. Push someone away. Well, that'll give you an interesting feeling, wedgie.
Spin around on the ball.
Yeah. Tuck your chin in it. We'll want to hang out. No hanging out of the chin. Just a few seconds more. Squeeze those shoulder blades down and back. Most important part, abs nice and tight. And then good, shake out your arms. You should feel like your arms are engorging with blood, and they are actually. So we're gonna do now bicep stretch. So we're gonna lengthen the bicep. So you're gonna take everything this way. You can even park it on your thigh if you want to. And that'll allow you to massage the whole front side of your arm. As you lengthen it, try to get your elbow to move forward this way.
So as you do this again, don't forget to keep those abs engaged.
Oops. She was talking to you guys. That's just so disappointing how much more muscular Maria is than I am. Okay, good. Release that. We're going to try it on the other side. You can just take it into there, that's plenty. Or if you want, you can put it on your thigh to give yourself that little massage. Try to get that elbow forward. I did not forget on this side to turn on my abs. I mean, you guys did not forget to turn on your abs.
It's really important to be aware of how much your core, your abs want to turn off when you stretch your extremities.
Yes. Keep that pelvic floor on. And then go ahead and release that hand. So now you know what position to put your hands in. We're going to be in this position as you take your arms back behind you, chest is up, shoulder blades are down and back, abs are on, pelvic floor is on. You're going to pump your arms back behind you like you're doing the Pee Wee Herman dance. Suck in your tummy, or at least the back half of the Pee Wee Herman dance.
Or a flock of penguins running to the water.
Yep. Squeeze those shoulder blades down and back. You're moving from the shoulders, not the shoulder blades.
Abs in. Really, really try to engage your lower abs.
And good. Oh, dear. Just wiggle out your shoulders a little bit. Again, we're activating muscles. A lot of times in the shoulders, to get more flexible, you have to create more stability And that's what's turning on as stabilizers. So we're going to lengthen the tricep now. To do that, we saw what we had to do, lengthen the bicep in the front of the arm. We're going to go in the opposite direction. You're going to curl this way, and then you're going to just take this hand over the top of your head. And I might get a little echoey because we're pressing the mics into our neck. You're stretching. And on this one, you can lean away. This is a good one to lean away on. Keep your abs engaged. This is the ideal position when someone's telling an incredible story. You go into this position like, no, no way. You support your head. Just a little longer. You might feel your hand going numb. That's okay. And then we're coming out of that. My hair. We're gonna do the same thing on this side. We're gonna flex the wrist, and we're gonna flex the elbow. Get over to the top to get that tricep. Whoa, you can lean away. Really lean away. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking in your tummy. Chest is up. You're breathing. It's okay if your hand's going numb. And then release your arms, fix your hair. Oh, my hair. Okay, shake it out. And now what you're gonna do is interlock your fingers behind your back. We're gonna open up the chest. And then we're gonna close it up. Open it up. And close it up. Keep your abs engaged. Keep breathing, keep your abs engaged, suck in that tummy. All right. Now, we're gonna do our credit card exercises. You're gonna squeeze that credit card between the palms of your hands. Abs are nice and tight. We're gonna do this a little differently. We're gonna do it short first, and you're gonna do short little circles, but you're squeezing the whole time because you don't wanna lose that credit card. Abs are nice and tight, you're sucking in your tummy. Suck in your tummy, you're twisting from your torso, opposite direction. 10, 9, abs, 8, squeeze! 3, 2, 1. Okay? Now you're gonna take your arms away from you, straight arms, still squeezing that same credit card. Suck in that tummy, you're gonna circle it. And as you saw about 6 weeks ago when we were doing this, when we started that to when we finished it, your arms got really toned from doing this. Squeeze, don't lose the squeeze. Is that 10?
9. 10.
Opposite direction. Keep squeezing, don't lose the squeeze. Work through your abs. Squeeze.
10.
Good, shake out those arms. Okay, we're gonna do same thing again, pulling apart. So interlock your fingers, you're trying to pull apart. We're gonna do it short. Abs nice and tight. Keep breathing. Keep pulling apart. Keep those elbows apart. Opposite direction, keep pulling apart. You should feel this in your shoulders. If you don't, you're not pulling apart hard enough. Abs are engaged. Breathe.
10.
Okay. Shake out those arms because they should be tired. If they're not, you're not using them. Take your arms out in front of you. Rip apart. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking on your tummy. We're going to do our circles again. Maria and I are going in the opposite directions just to give you options. Rip apart those arms. You should feel your shoulders. You're going to feel muscular imbalance that you have.
10.
Opposite direction. So if it's hard on one side, easier on the other. That's muscular imbalance. Correct it. Keep breathing. Oh my.
9, 10.
Okay, shake out those shoulders. Whew. Just swinging back and forth like you're getting...
Getting ready to jump.
Yes, the long jump. Standing long jump. Used to be an Olympic event, but then everyone realized how stupid it looked, so they removed it as an Olympic event because it looks like you're gathering up chickens instead of jumping.
So as you do this, try to engage your abs.
We're working our pelvic floor just by swinging your arms. Okay. Oh, we're going to create oppositional twist again. Take your right leg forward. Now we're going to work on twist. We're going to rotate to that away, the right side. Chest is up, abs are nice and tight. You're sucking into your tummy. You can do it like Maria is doing if you have a normal length torso, unlike me who's got an extremely long torso. I can't get my elbow down that low. Twist, suck in your tummy. Talk about boring. The Winter Olympics this year, I didn't even really bother to watch it. Too much drama and just overall boring. I used to get so excited for the Olympics. Long stretch, abs nice and tight, suck in your tummy. You're breathing. Okay, we're just going to do the opposite side. We're going to twist the opposite direction. Watch the alignment and knee over top of your foot. Suck in that tummy, chest up. There was a big controversy, I guess, during the Olympics about the young girl who had a chemical in her blood for blood doping, and she was in figure skating. But it was just horrible how everyone treated her. She's only 15. How big a part of the decision making do you think it was that she was involved in blood doping? It's just horrible. Abs are nice and tight. And then come out of this.
18.
Oh, okay.
19. 20.
Okay, now you can come out of it. I just think about what I was like when I was 15. I wasn't making any decisions. Okay.
At least not the smartest ones.
Yes, for sure. Oh, I'll eat that. How long has it been on the ground? Okay, we're going to come onto the ground. We're going to continue to work some of the external rotation. You're going to put your leg down like this. You're going to take this leg, put it on top of it like this. You can use your blocks or your ball or your block and ball if you have troubles with tightness. We're just going to stretch this way. Suck in your tummy, chest up. Jaws relaxed. We're going to add that twist to the left. Suck in your tummies. Yeah, I was trying to figure out why at the Olympics, Russia wasn't called Russia. They were called the ROC. They're not allowed to use their name. Such drama. Okay, we're going to rotate the opposite direction. Even though Maria says the count was enough. Suck in that tummy, long spine. And come back to center as you switch legs. So your left leg goes down, your right leg goes on top. You can lift up tall with your blocks or your ball and block, whatever. Abs are nice and tight. Feel that elongation of your spine first. Abs engage. And then we're going to rotate off to the right. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking in your tummy. So all the stretches will make more sense next week when we're doing the exercises, because we are working time under tension in the long and short angles. And a lot of these are the long and short angles where we commit into long and short angles because we want shorter angles in the lower half of the body and uprightness long angles in the spine in general. But we get in the reverse, we lock out our legs and we slouch. Okay, go the opposite direction. Keep breathing. Smiles are up, abs are nice and tight. Seem about right? Nope? Okay. Suck in that tummy. Okay. You're going to straighten out those legs. Now that they've been in flexion, you're going to take them into extension as you just jog them out. Jog, 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 jog. And then you can head towards your toes. Suck in that tummy. Shoulders back. Toes to your nose. Long stretch, just get used to how it feels and not freak out, but balance it instead into muscles and out of joints. Okay. Oh, no, not K yet. Maria's not out of it. Okay, now we can K out of it. Put the ball in the small of your back. We're going to arch in the opposite direction to create counterbalancing. Trying to elongate the distance between our head and our butt. Or head and tail. It's called head-tail relationship. And breathing. Abs are nice and tight. First, second, third chakras on. You're going to feel your hip flexors open up, especially your psoas, because we've been using it to pull forward. Now we're going to lengthen it. Squeeze those shoulder blades down and back. Point your toes parallel towards the ceiling. Abs are engaged. Close up your rib cage. Just a few seconds more. Okay, then bend both of your knees. Put the ball underneath your sacrum. You're going to straighten out your your left leg, bend your right knee. You're going to roll over on top of the ball and put it underneath your hip. And then you're going to take your right knee off to left as you go into spinal rotation. So this is spinal rotation plus lateral bend. We're going to hold this for a while. Keep your abs engaged. Don't let this go into joints. We're stretching muscles. Try to get that right shoulder down against the ground. Keep your abs sucked in, tight. Breathing. And good. We're going to come out of this and do the other side. So set that ball underneath your right straight leg and hip. Bend your left knee. Roll onto that hip on top of the ball. Drop your left knee off to the right. Try to get the left shoulder blade down. You're doing spinal rotation off this side. Notice if one side's easier than the other. Try to balance it out as you breathe. Just notice what this stretch feels like. Notice if you could keep it in your core, or does it have to move out to your extremities? Notice if there are things you want to flex or extend to counterbalance. Keep your abs engaged. Is that about right? Mm-hmm. Okay, come back to center. You're going to go on your roller lengthwise. You guys have done a lot today. You should feel pretty good today, all things considered. But on the roller, head is slightly off the roller, just off of what's called your EOP. You want to be off of that so your head's in line with your pelvis. Draw your shoulder blades down and back. Your feet are parallel. Your knees are over the tops of your feet. Now you're going to do the crazy job of breathing. Because now you have balance between your flexors and your extensors, your abductors, internal and external rotators, at least of your hips, if not a little bit in your shoulders. And that balance through your center, as we did ab connection and then finally twist, will make your body energize long and tall and keep you upright. And this last piece, you're just taking your hands and stick them up. Whether your elbows touch the ground or the back of your hands can touch the ground, doesn't matter. You're just going to hang out here and open up those pecs as you breathe. You can feel the tightness of pectoralis major, your chest muscle. You may feel your pinky and ring fingers getting a little numb, and that's okay. This is a good stretch to open up circulation so that doesn't happen when you're not in this weird position. We're doing a long stretch and just letting gravity do the work. Keep your abs engaged, first, second, third chakras. Try to flatten your spine against the roller, your navel to your spine as you breathe. Just a little bit longer. And go ahead, release those arms so you can put them against the ground now as you just lay flat back on the roller and breathe. I'm going to come off the roller, you stay on the roller as you continue to breathe. And all this stretching and opening should release tension into the appropriate parts of your body. And so you should be able to find meditation easier. You should be able to find your center. You should be able to connect the two to your breath. So even though we did all sorts of strange movements, this is the introduction into long and short angles of the body, because you're understanding how your body favors certain movements. So we'll continue that this week for our next 4-part series on long and short angles. Continue to breathe. On behalf of Maria and me, thank you for being here. Thank you for being willing and open and doing these crazy activities. Thank you for supporting us. We appreciate you so very much. Thank you and namaste.
Namaste.
Bye, Gillen.